हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मेरे नए वीडियोस देखते रहने के लिए मेरे वीडियो के नीचे दिए गए ये साइन सब्सक्राइब को अवश्य क्लिक करें। इसके बाद ये बेल के साइन को क्लिक करें। यहाँ इसको बॉक्स को क्लिक करने के बाद सेव करें ताकि आप नोटिफिकेशन मिलता रहे आपको मेरे नए वीडियोस देखने के लिए। थैंक यू। Have you written questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I start?
Sure.
Do your parents let you stay out late?
Do your parents
Let you stay out late?
out
Late?
late? Okay.
Of course not. They always ask me to get back home before 10 p.m.
Okay, very nice answer, very nice question.
Yes. Does your family usually have dinner together? Yes, we do. My mother always prepare very delicious.
No, once again, the question is,
Okay. Does your family usually have dinner together?
okay.
Yes, we do. My mother always prepares very delicious food for us, and none of us would like to miss it.
And that is not important. Important thing is that you all have that dinner together.
Yes.
Because actually, even if the food is not that much delicious as you expect, but
Yes.
still when you have that food together with your family members, then it becomes delicious.
Yeah.
Getting my point?
Yeah, I got your point.
Having dinner together is a pleasure.
Yes. Do you live alone or with your parents? I live with my parents as because I am working in my hometown, so it is a great thing to be with my family.
Yes.
Next question is, are you a party animal?
Are you
A party animal? Animal.
party animal?
Yes, I got this question from Google.
What does it mean?
Means do you really love going party or not? Yes, I am. I love meeting friends, talking and eating together.
So
When
you like parties?
Yes. Yes. Next question is, when do parties often start and finish? Party should be between 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. What do people do in the party you attended? At the party, people meet with their friends. They talk. They eat together. Some go to the party. Some people go to the party to find new business opportunities, and some go to there to find new partners. And
Don't use any preposition with meet.
Meet. Okay.
Meet means I meet my friends. Don't say I meet with my friends. It's wrong. Meet my friends.
Okay. Do you enjoy drinking alcohol at the party? No, I don't drink alcohol at all because it is not good for health, and I am too much health conscious person, so I don't drink alcohol. Do you have your own computer? Yes, I have my personal laptop. How often do you use the computer? Almost every day, because without computer I cannot my work. My work is related to computer, so without computer I cannot work. What are some advantages of using the computer? Using the computer, we can shop, we can do banking transactions, we can chat with our friends through Skype or Facebook. So almost everything can be done through computer. So there is so much advantages of computer. Do you use other high-tech devices besides computer? Yes, apart from using computer, I have my smartphone. Through smartphone, I can do almost everything which computer can do. So this is the question all about.
Okay. Topic.
First one is a English teacher. Mr. Subodh Maheshwari, an Indian English teacher, has been teaching through Skype for the last 20 years, and for the last 6 years he has been teaching spoken English through Skype. He has uploaded so many YouTube videos. You can watch them to improve your English, and if you still feel that you want to have one-to-one classes with Mr. Subodh Maheshwari, then you can get the Skype ID from his video. He has given his Skype ID below every YouTube video. You can send request to him, and whenever you meet him, you can talk to him. He will discuss with you about the fees and the number of lessons and the content of the course. And this is how Mr. Subodh Maheshwari that is how Mr. Subodh Maheshwari gives the English class. Next topic is morning time. Morning time between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is especially the best time for everything and for everybody. If you take the example of housewife, they when she wakes up, her husband and the children are still on the bed, but when she works, she doesn't want any kind of disturbances, and she used to work without any disturbances,
She can do. Don't
she
say
can
used
do.
to. Used to, we use in past tense.
Yeah. Okay. She can do her work without any disturbances. Maybe it is washing of clothes, or making tea, or making food, anything, but she doesn't want any kind of disturbances in this time. And again, if you take the example of a student, after a long sleep, his brain becomes very relaxed, and during this time, there is no noise at all, and without any disturbances, he can study more peaceful mind, with more peaceful mind, and he can easily remember the things in this time. And if you take the example of working professional, those who work for late night, they cannot get their sleep. They cannot have good sleep. But if they use this time between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., because it is a very noiseless and no disturbances at all in this time, so they can have good sleep in this time. And if you take the example of those who go for long walk or do pranayam or yogas, they can get the fresh air full of oxygen, so they can utilize this time. Another topic is daily routine. Daily routine, should I speak about yourself or myself? Myself. Okay. I wake up at 5 a.m. and finish my nature calls, and then I start doing yoga and pranayam for 1 hour, and then I get ready for my job, and then I get ready for my job, and around 7 a.m. I take my bath and get ready for going to my job, and at 8 o'clock I reach my workplace, and I work there for 8 hours, and in between 1 to 2 p.m. there is a lunch, and after coming back to my home I get fresh, and I have my tea, and there is one TV program, that is G News. I love to see Salt Hockey program on G News, and then around 6:30 p.m. I come to my laptop and start with my laptop watching YouTube videos on English, and maybe sometimes meeting friends on Facebook, and around 9:30 I take my dinner, and watching some videos, and again around 10:30 I go to sleep.
Okay.
That is all about my routine.
Okay. So let's take some new topics for speaking, and then we'll have something new. So I just tell you here an incident actually that happened with me in my childhood. So it is in past tense.
Okay.
Actually, that incident took place in my childhood, and that time I was 2 year old. Actually, I didn't remember that incident, but my mother told me about that incident when I got sense. So that's why I came to know about that incident which took place in my childhood. So I was just 2 year old, and as usual, my mother was cooking food in the kitchen, and my father was sitting in the kitchen itself because it was a big kitchen. So my father was sitting in the kitchen itself, and he was waiting for the food, because after having food he had to go outside for some work. So he was waiting there, and I was standing beside my mother. And that particular day my mother was cooking pudding. Pudding is like halwa or kheer, you can say. So my mother was cooking pudding, and I like pudding very much in my childhood. So, but that time actually I was cutting my teeth. Cutting teeth means मेरे दांत निकल रहे थे उस समय. बच्चे के दांत निकलते हैं ना, it is called cutting teeth. So I was cutting teeth, and I was suffering from loose motions also. But as I was very much fond of pudding, eating pudding, so I pulled my mother's sari, and I asked her to give me some pudding in my lisping voice. Lisping, lisp means tutlana. So I just asked my mother to give me some pudding in my lisping voice. But my mother denied, as she knew it very well that I was suffering from loose motion. So, but after some time, I again pulled my mother's sari and asked her to give me some pudding. Again, she denied. And the third time, after some time, means I was quiet for some time, and then I pulled my mother's sari again and asked her to give me some pudding. But that time my mother asked me to go to my father. And then my father actually, he had already started eating, and he was having pudding also. And I asked my father to give me some pudding. But that time my father was in hurry, and he was eating, and he had to go outside. So he just scolded me. And so I was in fear. I was afraid of him, because I was just 2 year old, and my mother was cooking. She was busy in cooking. My father was busy in eating, and after scolding me, he was busy in eating. But as I was in fear, so I started going back without turning my face. Means I started going back without turning my face. And they both were busy in their work. And unfortunately, there was a staircase behind me. So I was just moving, I kept moving backward without turning my face. And unfortunately, I fell down from that first stair to the last. Means I started rolling down over the stairs and I cried loudly, and suddenly I was at the bottom or at the last stair, and I cried loudly and I was unconscious. And my grandfather, who was in toilet that time, he actually heard my shriek or cry. He came out immediately. He picked me up and he found that my forehead was bleeding too much. So he pressed my forehead with his towel or something, and he rushed towards the nearest clinic or hospital. And my father, my mother, and my uncle, they all followed him. And I was unconscious and my forehead was bleeding. And when he reached there, that hospital, nearby hospital, and the doctor examined me and found that there was a very deep cut on my forehead, and it was bleeding. So, and I was unconscious. I got 7 stitches on my forehead. You can see the mark here if you can.
Yes.
Did you see?
Yes, yes.
So I was unconscious, and doctor told my parents, my grandparents, that it was a very deep cut, and if I didn't get consciousness within next 24 hours, I might die or I might be mentally retarded. So everybody was very much worried. I was on my bed, and everybody, means my family members, they were sitting around me and they all were praying to God for my recovery. And after 16 hours, I opened my eyes and I asked for some water. And then actually my uncle or my father, he went out to fetch the doctor. Fetch मतलब जाके लाना, बुला लाना. Fetch. So my father went out of my room to fetch the doctor, and doctor came and examined, and he told that means I was out of danger that time. So everybody was very happy and thanked to God, and everybody heaved. This is past actually, heaved a sigh of relief. Sorry, spelling is wrong. Relief. Heaved a sigh of relief. चैन की सांस ली. So my family members heaved a sigh of relief. मतलब एक चैन की सांस उन्होंने ली कि I was okay. I was out of danger, and I was there in the hospital for a day or two, and then I recovered in 10 or 15 days. So that was the incident actually took place in my childhood. So that is in past tense, and you have to repeat if you can or if you'd like to. So you will have practice of past tense.
Okay, I will try.
Yes.
When you were 2 years old, there was an incident. Your mother was cooking pudding, and your father was sitting there to have food because he had to go to do some work. And as because you liked pudding, you were liking you likes pudding very you likes pudding.
Liked.
That's why you are
Yeah. You liked.
you liked pudding very much. That's why you were pulling your mother's sari and asked her to give some pudding. But your mother was busy in cooking, and she told you to go to your father. But your father was busy in eating, and because he had to go for some work, so he scolded you. He scolded you. Then you got the fear. You got the fear of your father. So without and you had tears on your eyes, and without turning back, you started moving backward. But unfortunately, there was a stair, and you fell down from that stair, from the first one to the last stair, and you started crying very loud. That time your grandfather was in toilet. He could hear your sound of crying, and immediately came to you, and he उठाना को क्या बोलते हैं?
Picked up.
Yeah.
Huh.
He picked you up, and he could see that there was a heavy bleeding on your forehead, and you were unconscious at that time. Then he immediately rushed to the hospital, and every family member of yours followed him, and after seeing the doctor told to your family that it was a very
Don't say told to. Told.
told your family it was a heavy cut, and it was a heavy cut, and as you were unconscious, so he told if within 24 hours he could not get uh, he could not get conscious, then there would be chances that he would mentally retired, or another one was what I
Mentally.
mentally retired.
Mentally retarded.
Mentally retarded. He would be mentally retarded after
Or
listening,
might die.
or might die. Or might die. But but fortunately, after 16 hours, you got conscious, and your father went out of the room, and went out of the room to fetch the doctor. The doctor came, and asked told your family member that everything is fine now, and
Everything was.
everything was fine. Everything was fine, and after 15 days you got discharged from that hospital.
Okay. Okay, one more
Okay.
in past. One day I went to my friend's house. I knocked the door. She opened the door smiling. She asked me to come in. I went in, and she asked me to sit down on a sofa. I sat down there on that sofa, and it was very comfortable, and I thought it was new. And she talked to me, or we talked to each other for some time, and after that she went inside to make a cup of tea for me, and she offered me a cup of tea with some biscuits, and I had that biscuit and tea, and then I was getting late and I got up to go. Then suddenly I saw a beautiful picture on a wall. It was a beautiful painting. I liked that painting very much and I praised that painting. And on hearing the words of praise, tears rolled down from her eyes. I asked her the reason of weeping. She told me that I was the first person who praised her picture. That is the story. Repeat this.
Yeah, I did not get something. Painting, can you repeat it? The painting part, I did not get it properly.
Which part?
Painting part means what painting that was, and can you explain again the painting?
When I got up to go, I saw a beautiful picture of painting on a wall. Diwar par.
Oh.
It was a beautiful picture. I liked it very much. And I praised that picture. तारीफ की मैंने उसकी पिक्चर की. And on hearing the words of praise, tears rolled down from her eyes. I asked her the reason of weeping. She told me that I was the first person who praised her picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
One day you went to your friend's house. You knocked at the door. She opened with a smile face. She asked you to come. Then you went in. He asked you to sit there on sofa. You sat on, and it was like that you were feeling like that was a new sofa, and you are very comfortable there. And after talking for some time, she went into the kitchen and prepared tea and some biscuits, and she offered to you biscuits and tea, and you accepted her offer, and that cup of tea and biscuit, and you were getting late, so you got up, and suddenly you saw a picture, very beautiful picture, painted on the wall, painted on the wall, and you praised that picture. After listening that praise word, uh, 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 what you told years, tears roll down. Yeah, tears. After listening the word praise, tears rolled down from her eyes, and you asked her why she cried. Then she told you that you were the first person who praised that painting.
Offered. No preposition. Offered you.
Offered you.
Offered to you is wrong. Offered
Okay.
you. Okay. Okay. Now you ask me something.
Actually, I have some doubts.
Sure, ask me.
Yeah. That in past tense, I'm confused so many times.
Okay, ask me, no problem.
Okay, I'm asking. That was not discussed during the meeting, and another one is that has not been discussed during the meeting. So, which one is correct?
Both are correct. One is in past, indefinite, and these are the sentences, these are in passive actually. Means that matter was not discussed during the meeting, has not been discussed during the meeting. Actually, you must understand past tense and present perfect. They both actually look like means same. But if something which is related to present also, that is present perfect. But something which was there in the past only and it has no connection with the present, then it is past indefinite. Like means जैसे suppose you ask me something like would you like to have a cup of tea? I say, because you have asked that sentence in present, would you like to have a cup of tea? I say no thanks, I have just had a cup of tea. Means I have had means मैंने अभी ही ली है, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही ली है. ली है means it has connection with present. I have just had tea. No thanks, I don't want to have tea now, I have just had. But if you ask me something like have you ever been to Calcutta? Have you ever been to Calcutta? क्या आप कभी कैलकाटा गए हैं? And I say I never went to Calcutta. Means मैं कभी नहीं गया. And you can answer it in that way also. I have never been to, मैं कभी नहीं गया हूँ. I never went to Calcutta. मैं कभी नहीं गया हूँ. So it means that the matter was discussed during the meeting. तो आप कह रहे हैं कि ये मैटर किया गया था, डिस्कस किया गया था, but there was no result. But if you say that matter has been discussed during the meeting, it means डिस्कस तो हमने कर लिया है, बट यू आर स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर द रिजल्ट्स, कि रिजल्ट आने वाला है उसका, या आएगा या नहीं आएगा. यू आर स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर द रिजल्ट. बट व्हेन यू से दैट मैटर वाज डिस्कस्ड, तो यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पास्ट. किया गया था, ये डिस्कस किया था हमने, लेकिन हैज बीन डिस्कस कर लिया गया है. दिस इज द डिफरेंस. अब कहाँ आपको कैसे देना है आंसर, वो डिपेंड करेगा आपके देने पे, कि आप क्यों पास्ट में बोल रहे हैं, क्यों प्रेजेंट में बोल रहे हैं. बोथ आर करेक्ट.
I want to ask you another question. Which newspaper do you read?
I read Hindi newspaper, of course, and that is local newspaper, Dainik Bhaskar.
And in Hindi? In English?
English newspaper actually I don't read now. I used to read earlier, because that time I wanted to improve my English. But these days actually, in fact, I don't get time to read newspaper, and I don't want to read newspaper. But reading newspaper, you may have actually different motto or aim. It depends on people why you read newspaper. Some of the people read newspaper to know the news. Some of the people read newspaper to learn language, English. So you read English newspaper to improve your English, and some of the people read newspaper to know news. So what's your motto? It depends on that. So I don't read newspaper actually. I don't get time. This is the reason, and I don't want to read news. Almost the negative news are there, so I don't like to read newspaper. And I don't want to be negative in my life. I want to be positive all the time. So I ignore negative things.
Okay. So if someone reads newspaper to improve English, so should he go for it or no?
Yes, why not? This is the best way to improve. your vocabulary, your English. It's good choice.
Can you suggest any English newspaper which is
You may read
good?
Hindustan Times, and you may go for Times of India, the Hindu. But Times of India is okay, Hindustan Times is also, both are good actually. So you may read any newspaper which you like. But the Times of India, it has got some easier words to understand. So start with Indian Express or Times of India, or after that you may go for Hindustan Times.
Okay.
Indian Express is you should go for Indian Express or Times of India first, and later you can go for Hindustan Times.
Okay.
Any other doubt or anything else?
Doubts actually when I have no classes, then doubts are coming to me, and when I have class, they are gone.
Then
So
you must note
next
them
time I
down.
also not write. Yeah. Next time onwards, I will note them and then I will ask you.
Yes.
One thing I ask you, I don't know how do you feel or how do you react on that. Every classes you uploaded YouTube. I saw last video of mine today, I think, 4:30 p.m. So you want to say something?
No. What is your question? I'm not getting.
Okay, means classes what we discussed here that you uploaded on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
your channel. So each and every video you uploaded there on or only one or two
No.
videos?
You are yeah. Now I understand your question. Actually, I uploaded those videos which I like actually. Which I like means there is something which other students can learn from it, and which is really very good for them to understand or to learn something. That's
Okay.
why, and not all, because some of the classes they are not up to the mark, and these are not very good. And you are a good student actually. You are a good student of mine, because your level of English is good. Means it's not bad at all. But some of the people, they are in their learning stage, they don't know anything, even they can't make simple sentences, and so these videos are not good uh, for the people to learn English from. So I don't upload all the videos, but some of the videos which are really very good, and these I upload. So actually that is the advantage for you too. It means you can watch it again and again, what you spoke or what mistake you did. So it is the collection for you too. But if you think it is bad, then I can delete them from there, no problem. If you think
No, I was just asking.
because some of the people actually, they mind it, but I think there is nothing bad.
Yeah,
Because you are learning, you are not means doing anything wrong, you are not doing any illegal activities. So what is wrong in it? Even if you are speaking, you can actually have that collection of your classes there, that this is
yeah,
my first lesson, this is my second, so you can watch them again and again and you can learn. So it's a record for you.
yeah.
So if you, I think if it is a good actually the activity for you and for me and for all the students who watch that video.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
When I saw this video, I was quite upset. That my younger sister told me, "Arey, this is the way you get famous. That people will see you in speaking English. Those who take fun of your English, now they can understand that you are doing something good in English. So why are you getting upset? This is a very good thing, and you should be thankful to Subodh Maheshwari that he has uploaded your video, choosing your video that it will be in his channel. So that is a very
Yes.
proud thing for him.
Yes, you are absolutely right. That's why I told you, means I never upload all the videos.
Yeah,
I means choose the videos which I think it is up to the mark and that can be uploaded there for the students to learn something. So
yeah,
because actually I liked the discussion we have in our classes. So that's why actually I uploaded. So your sister is right
yeah,
because it is good for you actually, and you should be happy for that because that video was
yeah. My sister told me.
chosen to be uploaded. So it is good for you. So actually nobody is going to make fun of you, and if they make fun of you, they're stupid, I think. Because you know why? Because I think your English is far better than those who are going to make fun of you. Why? You know, if they know better than you do, they are not going to make fun of you. Why? I tell you here an example, and it is very practical example. I tell you, suppose you want to be a cricket player, or suppose there is a child and he wants to be a cricketer like Sachin Tendulkar, and if he goes to Sachin and he tells Sachin that he wants to be a cricketer like him, then Sachin is not going to make fun of him. Sachin will actually encourage him. Oh, yes, you can be a cricketer like me, but you have to work hard. You have to practice every day. You have to put your efforts into it to be a cricketer like me. But if the same child goes to a person who has never played any cricket, and if he tells him, "Sir, uncle, I want to be a cricketer like Sachin," then he will reply, "Oh, you are going to be a cricketer like Sachin. You can never be a cricketer because nobody in your family has become a cricketer yet. How can you be a cricketer?" He will answer like that. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're
But
right.
if he goes to Sachin, Sachin will not make fun of him. But the person who has never played any cricket will make fun of him. This is the world actually, and that world reacts in that way. So people make fun of you, it's their problem, it's not your problem. It's their problem, and it is the problem with their mind. Because they themselves don't want to do anything. And if you do something good, they will make fun of you, and one day you will be speaking very good English and you will make fun of them.
Yeah,
They will make fun of you for some time, but you will make fun of them for your whole life because they will never speak English. Actually, your efforts should be appreciated, that you are doing something, you are utilizing your time, you are doing something creative, you are not wasting your time. You have invested money not for buying a branded jeans. Of course, you may buy it. I don't discourage you to buy a branded jeans or t-shirt or sweater or whatever. But your priority is to develop yourself. And if you, because when you purchase a branded jeans, you spend your money for that because that jeans will never be there with you after some time. But when you spend money for gaining some knowledge, That is with you always, and that is investment, that is not expenditure. So your effort should be appreciated, and I appreciate your effort, not because you have paid me.
Okay.
Not because you have paid me, so I must appreciate. Oh, yes, yes, you have done a good job. You have paid me money. This is of course I am happy, or I get happy when I get a new student and I get money. But that happiness is for a moment only. I have got money, I have spent it already. Now the money you sent me, I have nothing with me. I have already spent that money. But when I talk to you, when I teach you, when I guide you, and you improve and you become my student, best student or good student, or one of the best student, that gives me the real happiness, that I have done something good for a student. So that is the real happiness. So that's why I appreciate your efforts, because you are a creative man. You want to learn, you are doing something creative to develop yourself, and that is going to help you in your future. Definitely, whatever you are learning is not going to be wasted. It will work for you sometime in your life. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, I get it. Yes, sir, I'm getting your point.
So that is creativity. I mean, your family members should feel proud of you. You have spent money for something creative. You are not spending money for party, for moving here and there unnecessarily, or for drinking wine. This is wastage. This is not creativity. So this is creativity, whatever you have done.
Yes.
You should be happy for your step or decision, and everyone, your family members should be happy. And you are doing
Yes.
something good. You want to learn something. You won't believe, I have got some of the students from Pakistan, from South Korea. They studied with me for years. Can you believe it? One of my students from South Korea, he studied continuously with me for 6 or 7 months. And you can watch his videos also on YouTube channel, my channel. And these are also very nice videos to learn. And one of my student from Pakistan, she is gynecologist. She is a doctor there in Karachi. She is a famous doctor in Karachi. She studied with me for 7 or 8 months continuously. She had more than 120 classes with me. Can you believe it?
No, but I think she's a doctor. She knows.
Yes, she knows English very
Yeah.
well, but she wanted to improve a lot, a lot. Why? Because she had to take an exam in UK.
Okay.
So she was preparing for that, and she wanted to be very, very fluent. Because actually, there is no limit for learning. Learning is endless. You cannot say now I am fully, or I am an expert. Now I don't need to learn further. You can never say like this. There is always a room for learning. You cannot say now I have completed my study and now I am an expert. Even I am not an expert. I have been teaching for the last 25 years, but still I don't think I am an expert in English. I am still learning. Getting my point?
Yeah, getting, sir.
So nobody is perfect and nobody can be perfect. You can improve, and that improvement can go for your whole life.
Yeah.
But we stop when we think it's enough for us to survive. But if you are very much interested or you have keen interest to learn something deeply, thoroughly, then there is no end for learning. It is endless process. So whenever I talk to you, do you understand what I speak
Yeah,
clearly?
I understood. Yes, clearly. And listen to you very attentively, otherwise I will miss.
Yeah, if you keep listening to me, you will be speaking very good English.
Yeah,
And I know my English is good, I think. I don't say I am one of the best, but if I am not the best, I am one of the best.
yes,
Because I lot of things are there to be discussed that we'll have these topics in our next lessons. Like means how you can be impressive, means how you can make people talk to you, and how you can develop yourself in that way that people would come to you to talk to you. They want to talk to you. How you can make people to talk to you.
yeah,
So these are the things. So we'll discuss that on in our next lessons. Or you may keep watching my videos on YouTube because I have uploaded many videos, hundreds of videos. And if you keep watching that, you will learn a lot of things. Okay, so see you again.
yes, sir. Thank you.
On Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
So make questions.
Yes, sir. At the next topic, what would be next topic?
Topics the same. You just write down the topics we discussed. Past incident.
Yes, yes.
I went to my friend's house and then first that incident took place in my life. So you just write down these topics and we discuss them again.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See you again. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. हेलो माय फ्रेंड्स, अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज़ इसको शेयर करिए और लाइक करिए, कमेंट्स लिखिए इस वीडियो के नीचे और सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए मेरे चैनल से, जिससे कि आपको मेरे नए वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन मिलता रहे। और अगर आपको लगता है आप मेरे साथ इंग्लिश सीखना चाहते हैं तो मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। मैंने अपना ईमेल आईडी, स्काइप आईडी इस वीडियो में दिया है और इस वीडियो के नीचे भी दिया है, तो आप मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। If you think that you like to learn English with me, it may be grammar, maybe speaking, or if you are preparing for an interview, you may contact me to take my help. Thanks for watching that video. Thank you.